This update went out on a Sunday morning, August 16th, and the zoo stated that prior to opening for the day, they took measures to separate monkeys from the group.
And that was resulting from, quote, intense staff discussions since last night.
Exactly. It's kind of like an emergency corporate boardroom meeting.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
You know, where you have to do this intense crisis management overnight before the doors open and the public walks in.
Yeah, you can't have shareholders, or in this case, visitors, walking into chaos.
Right, they had to intervene swiftly to ensure stability before anyone even arrived.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, that urgency really highlights the absolute critical nature of monitoring group dynamics in a captive setting.
Because it's not just feeding them, right?
No, exactly. Animal care goes far beyond just, providing food and shelter. It requires actively maintaining social stability.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tensions had clearly reached a point where staff just felt they couldn't afford to wait and see what happened once the public arrived.
Wow, so they had to ensure the physical safety of the whole group before those gates unlocked.
Precisely.
Wait, looking closely at the statement, though, they separated multiple individuals from the main Saruyama group.
Yeah, that is a really key detail.
But if there is a disruption, wouldn't it be easier to just, isolate the one instigator? Like, why take out multiple individuals?
Well, what's fascinating here is by explicitly stating they removed multiple individuals, the zoo's own wording suggests this wasn't just one single troublemaker.
Oh, so it's bigger than just one bad apple.
Right. It points toward a broader social conflict, involving an entire faction.
That is intense.
It really is. Extracting multiple monkeys simultaneously, it indicates the staff recognized a really complex dynamic.
Like they had to do a larger coordinated separation just to preserve the overall peace of the main troop?
Exactly. And rather than quietly moving those animals and just, going about their day.
Right. They made this public immediately.
Yeah, they explicitly committed to posting their approach in several parts later that same day.
Just to clearly convey their reasoning to everyone, that is a huge level of transparency.
It is. By choosing to post this in parts, they aren't just doing damage control.
Right.
They're actively inviting the public to see the messy reality of animal management.
Yeah, they want people to understand the really complex decisions they have to make behind closed doors.
It completely reframes the passive viewing experience we are so used to.
It really does. So next time you are standing in front of a primate enclosure, remember you aren't just looking at a peaceful exhibit.
No, not at all.
This tiny, urgent update is a rare, real-time look into the practical logistics of managing living, breathing communities.
Communities that require constant oversight.
Right, or occasionally overnight crisis management.
Definitely.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to mull over.
Yeah.
If a local zoo is willing to be this immediate and open about their internal animal welfare protocols, how might this multi-part public transparency change your future expectations for how all wildlife institutions handle and communicate their hardest decisions?